051, the founder and first administrator of the SCP Foundation, is an American male of European descent named Aaron Siegel. Born in the late 1800s, he studied physics at Cornell and also liked to go on hikes for some reason. During one of his hikes, Siegel stumbled across a mysterious gravel path that seemed to stretch on forever, defying all known forms of Euclidean geometry. This was SCP-001, the spiral path. Fascinated, he set up a laboratory nearby to study its anomalous properties in greater detail. As his work grew, he eventually brought in others to assist him, and together they uncovered even more anomalies in the world. This marked the beginning of the SCP Foundation. The founder himself has a verified lifespan of over 148 years, primarily through anomalous means such as continuously drinking from SCP-006, the Fountain of Youth. 052, known as the Gardener, is an American female of European descent who appears to be around 80 years old, though her true age remains unknown. She is also always seen wearing a shawl, gloves, and a hat. She is an alternate version of Foundation Director Sophia Light from another timeline, though the actual Sophia Light in our timeline has no knowledge of her counterpart, much less that she's an 05 member. 052 is known for her grandmotherly demeanor and has long been a strong advocate for researching and understanding SCPs rather than merely just containing them. 053 is the head of the Foundation's Record-Keeping and Information Security Administration, responsible for managing all of the Foundation's digital records. 053 is never seen in person, instead attending council meetings only through a computer terminal. Those who do glimpse their shifting form report a figure that never quite looks the same, sometimes male, sometimes female, yet always young with long blonde hair, glasses, a patched jean jacket, and a single bone earring. Though they appear to be around 17 to 19 years old, acquiring the nickname The Kid, 053 is certainly far older. 053 has an almost anomalous accuracy in predicting future events, which paired with their absence from physical gatherings, has fueled persistent rumors that 053 is actually dead, and that only their consciousness, uploaded into an artificial intelligence, remains. 054, also known as the Ambassador, is a man of Persian ancestry named Jean Ebrahimi, who visually is in his early 40s. He was a former Foundation field agent and actually has a traditional ambassador-like role in the Foundation, often meeting with other organizations and agencies. He is allegedly capable of traveling large distances in an impossibly short time for some reason. He never elaborates on this ability, but often talks about his personal life and has been deemed as anomalously charismatic. However, this has not been proven. 055 is an American male of Eurasian descent who appears to be in his mid-40s. However, he is almost certainly older and uses anomalous means to preserve his youth. He's always seen in a tweed suit with a coat, hat, and a blackbird pin. He prefers to wear ties with birds and is always sporting some sort of bird motif, which is why he is called the Blackbird. He has been reported as being overly friendly and is very laid back and jovial most of the time. He is head of the Department of Paranormal Organization Review, meaning he monitors and keeps tabs on the Foundation's groups of interest, such as the Chaos Insurgency, Serpent's Hand, and the Global Occult Coalition. In other timelines, he always has a prominent position in some other organization focused on the anomalous, which is quite interesting. He is reportedly the most dangerous member of the 05 Council. 056 is a white American man named Rufus King, who was a Union Brigadier General in the American Civil War. He appears to be in his mid-50s, however, given that he fought in the Civil War, he is obviously much older than that. But his methods of extending his life existed before he joined the Foundation, so we do not know what anomalous means he used. He currently serves as a liaison between the Foundation and the United States Pentagon, possessing about the same level of authority as the President of the United States. He also founded the first mobile task force, MTF Unit Alpha 1, Red Right Hand, which is the most elite task force, reporting directly to the 05 Council. 057 is a South Asian female in her mid-40s who appears to be somewhat overweight. She's always in some sort of green clothing, however we are unsure of the significance of this. She is a very private individual and thus does not venture into public very often, usually using intermediaries to do her bidding. She is in charge of recruiting a lot of the Foundation's personnel, specifically the 05 Council's general staff. 058, also known as the Newbie, is an American male of European descent in his mid-30s who is almost too ordinary looking. He used to be a Foundation site director and was only recently elevated to the 05 Council around 9 years ago. One of his first actions upon becoming an O5 member was the authorization of Dr. Kondraki's plan to neutralize SCP-083, which ended horrendously and resulted in the breaches of multiple other SCPs, such as SCP-682. Since this incident, O58 has not recovered and now always acts with extreme anxiety and caution, always relying on others for support in decision making. He is probably the weakest O5 Council member. O59, formerly known as geologist Donna Wetu Taylor, is a 53-year-old woman of Pacific Islander descent from New Zealand. She is always seen with a jade walking stick, however we are unsure of its significance. She was controversially inducted into the O5 Council directly from the public sector after a suspected Foundation cover-up of her anomalous geological and geophysical discoveries. She now advocates strongly for research into anomalous phenomena, aiming to develop a unified theory explaining all anomalies. O510, nicknamed the Archivist, is a female of African descent from the US, appearing in her mid-40s and usually dressed in gray striped suits. She serves as the O5 Council's, archivist and record keeper, guarding information on past iterations of Earth, timeline resets, and all known K-Class events that have occurred. She mentors younger researchers and does some of her own research, showing particular interest in SCP-1985 and other K-Class related anomalies. O510 is often accompanied by an assistant or decoy called Salt, and may possess knowledge of magic through the Wanderer's library. O511, often called the Mailman, is a male of Eastern European origin, over 80 years old, with no unusual appearance. Despite his grandfatherly and kind demeanor, his key responsibility is approving or denying termination orders for Class D personnel, deciding between execution or transfer. He has previously served under at least one other O5 designation as well. O512, originally known as Omar Alawe, is a large-built man of African origin, appearing in his mid-40s but likely older. Distinguished by his luxury clothing, jewelry, and ivory-framed glasses, he serves as the Council's accountant and mathematical genius, entrusted with unique data to ensure the Foundation's numbers balance. He schedules every aspect of his life and is a very ordered man. He was promoted to the O5 Council after the death of the previous O512, and his extraordinary mathematical insight is so good he can practically predict events, which has led to some questions as to whether or not his mathematical genius is an anomaly. Everyone is told that there are 13 O5 Council members. However, O513 does not exist. It is simply just a tiebreaker vote that is rotated between each O5 member. But some databases specifically require O513's identity to access. How could this be if O513 doesn't exist?